welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a genuinely chilling digital age mystery that unfolded entirely live. We're going to look at the exact timeline, the eerie digital footprint, and the absolutely baffling evidence gaps of a case that has left investigators completely stumped. He's behind me. You know, on October 14th, 2023, those whispered words were the absolute last thing thousands of viewers heard before Emily Carter vanished into thin air. A crime committed right in front of a live global audience, yet leaving behind nothing but questions. Section 1. Caught on Stream, a Live Mystery. To wrap our heads around just how bizarre this case is, we really have to understand how utterly ordinary it began. Emily Carter was a typical 22-year-old college student out in Oregon. She was well known in her online community for keeping her audience company with these late-night live streams. You know the drill, nothing unusual, just gaming, chatting, hanging out with viewers. A completely standard setup for a modern digital creator. Section 2. The Midnight Timeline, a Narrow Window. Okay, to grasp how insanely fast things went wrong here, we absolutely have to look at the exact minute-by-minute timeline of the broadcast. The timeline is literally everything in this case, because the window of opportunity for this crime was terrifyingly narrow. Let's trace it. The stream began exactly at 11:43 p.m. Emily's laughing, answering questions, playing games, but right here at the 27-minute mark, everything abruptly changed. And as we'll see, that disruption cascaded into a highly suspicious technical failure at precisely 12:01 a.m. So, looking at that shift at the 27-minute mark, viewers noticed the change instantly. Emily's expression drastically fell. She froze completely in place, her eyes visibly locked onto something situated just off camera, and then a dark shadow appeared in the background of her room, standing perfectly still, just watching her. As you can imagine, as that shadow emerged, the live chat just exploded with panic. Thousands of people watched this intruder appear in real time. Messages are flooding the screen. "Emily, what's wrong? And turn around." The audience was basically paralyzed, acting as real-time witnesses to a threat unfolding live. At first, some viewers hoped it was just a prank. But then, leaning slowly into her microphone, her face completely pale, Emily whispered this terrifying confirmation to her audience. "There's someone in my room." Right after that whisper, she reached out for her phone. Then, out of nowhere, the room lights shut off completely. A loud, heavy crashing sound echoed on her mic, the stream violently glitched, and the screen just went black. Section 3. 12 minutes later. Police response. Now, the digital audience acted as an immediate alarm system. Exactly 12 minutes. That is how fast it took for police to arrive at Emily's apartment after the broadcast dropped. Just 12 minutes between that terrifying crash heard online and law enforcement standing right at her front door. But when they arrived, this is the scene they walked into. They breached a completely unlocked door. Her laptop was still sitting on her desk, powered up and running. Her heavy streaming chair was knocked violently over onto the floor. But the most alarming detail? Emily was entirely gone. Section 4. The Missing Evidence. A Void of Traces. You would absolutely expect a chaotic abduction scene to be overflowing with physical clues, right? Instead, investigators found zero. Nothing. Despite clear signs of a physical struggle, like that knocked-over chair and the crash heard on stream, there were absolutely zero fingerprints left behind by the intruder. And looking at the unlocked door, zero signs of forced entry. And this perfectly highlights the terrifying paradox of Emily's case. On one side, we've got thousands of digital witnesses who literally watched the initial stages of the crime happen live. On the other side, an absolute void of physical evidence. No forced entry, no fingerprints, no forensic traces whatsoever. It's honestly like the intruder was a ghost. But here's the kicker. The evidence gap didn't just stop at the physical forensics inside the apartment. It extended outward into the building's digital security network, bringing us right back to that very specific timeline we talked about earlier. The apartment building was fully equipped with security cameras, but mysteriously, every single one of those cameras completely stopped recording, and the timing? That blackout occurred at precisely 12:01 a.m., just minutes after Emily's stream went down, directly covering the exact window of time the kidnapper would have needed to exit the building with her. That doesn't just happen by accident. Section 5. What happened to Emily? The final question. To this day, Emily Carter remains missing, and that shadowy figure remains completely unidentified. Leaving behind an overturned chair, an unlocked door, and a seriously chilling digital footprint, we have to ask, what exactly happened in the dark that night? I mean, the precise timing of the camera blackout and the total lack of physical evidence suggest extreme, almost impossible coordination. So, was this an obsessive stalker, a highly planned, elaborate disappearance, or something much, much darker? When you take a look at the timeline we've discussed today, weigh the total lack of physical evidence, you really have to ask yourself, how does someone vanish in front of thousands of people and leave absolutely nothing behind?